What's up, Huskies? Welcome to episode 2 of On the Big Screen. My name is Sofia Azevedo.
And my name is Ben Parmalee.
And today we'll be talking about one battle after another.
One Battle After Another is a 2025 film directed by Paul Thomas Anderson and is essentially about a washed-up revolutionary who now has to protect his daughter from a man with a personal vendetta from his past. So what did you think?
This movie, when I was going to see it in theaters and I was informed that it was 2 hours and 40 minutes long, I had the biggest sigh of my life because I have been actively trying to find good movies that are under 2 hours. And knowing that this was almost 3 hours was definitely sad.
I didn't even know that it was almost 3 hours until I was in the theater sitting down and looking up the movie. I was like, oh my God, it's 2 hours 50. And I was kind of excited because I'm like, well, these longer movies, they can develop their stuff and it might be a better movie. They have more time to develop the characters, the story, all that. And it could be good. Or so I thought.
There was this one character that kind of showed up for the beginning of the movie, and we see some kind of development, and then we see something happen, and they go away. And you would think, throughout the movie, they're going to follow up with her and what she's doing. But after that point in the movie, we just never saw her again, never heard of her again. Literally, she just fell off the face of the earth. And it was my whole family was sitting there wondering where is she? What's going on? And I just really think they could do something with that.
The sad part is that there was a lot of hype for this movie. Everyone was raving about this thing, that it was going to be the best movie of the decade. It's the best movie of the year, yada, yada, yada. And I'm going to this movie thinking it might just be that because it has Leonardo DiCaprio, Paul Thomas Anderson directing it. Sean Penn is apparently really good in it, but it wasn't. So what were your problems with it aside from that character?
I would say, it's an action movie, and since we're all about on this podcast, should you go see this in theaters? I feel like it's very much... You're expecting to see this big shootout scenes, big action scenes. And we had some of those. And I was like, okay, great. This movie's going to live up to the theater experience. And then you had 40 minutes of just boring, dead dialogue, business scenes that were just not, there was such a contrast and it wasn't really well done between the really high intensity scenes and the low intensity scenes.
Obviously, people are going to engage more with the high-intensity scenes, but then when it goes back down to those slower intensity scenes, you can still enjoy those. But no, it's when things aren't bouncing, you're like, well, it just sucks. Nothing's happening. Right.
And then that also ties into the poor character development. You're just sitting there with so many questions that go unanswered.
Fortunately, the low-intensity parts are the beginning, and then the middle is the high-octane nonsense, and then the end also falls down. So if you take the movie from the middle to the end of the middle, you can really enjoy it, because that's what I say.
If you show up late and leave early, it's a great movie.
Miss the first 40 minutes, you will have a blast, and then you have to have a bathroom break near the end and then never come back. You will have a great time in this movie, and you'll think it's one of the best movies in a long
goodness. I definitely think, I was sitting there thinking the movie, I think the script was good for the movie, and I think the idea was definitely there. I do believe if it had a different director, or really just a team of directors, since usually there's more than one, I think it could have been a great movie if you put someone that's more well-versed in political themed movies, if you know what I mean.
Because they had a good theme, that character that you mentioned that disappeared. It's okay, her problems can set up an interesting talking point surrounding her daughter and how that might affect all these cause and effect things, but it just fell short. They had the material, and apparently this is adapted from a book or a story, something that was written, but apparently they just couldn't write it well to a character on the big screen, so I don't know what was up with that. Well, if you want to laugh, then you will laugh during this movie. It is funny. There are some funny moments, which is surprising because this is 2 hour, 50-minute movie that has lots of political innuendos, violence, whatever, all that. But Leonardo DiCaprio and all the people around him are pretty funny.
There's some cutesy dialogue in there, and there's some funny moments. Leonardo DiCaprio is this disheveled alcoholic drug addict trying to desperately remember code words and names that he learned 30 years ago to save his daughter. And I just think it's definitely funny.
But who you like more is Benicio del Toro's character, Sensei. Can't really tell you too much about, what he does, his role in the movie, but you will enjoy having him on screen. He is hilarious, and he's honestly my favorite part of the movie.
He was really cool. He was the epitome of what the movie should be like because he was really cool. He had really good action scenes, but he wasn't over-explained, and his character wasn't insanely developed to the point where it was complicated. He was exactly what he needed to be, and he was ambiguous enough that he was like a super like mysterious sensei guy that knows karate. Like, it was really cool.
Yeah, still he was good enough to where the audience loved him, and you don't need all that background. You don't got to be muddied and all that nonsense, because when you do, characters like the mother, well, you don't like them as much because then they're overwritten and rewritten, and it's like all these scenes, they don't work, and you don't enjoy it as much. But someone who you do have your opinions for is Sean Penn's character. I think they just call him the Colonel or Longjaw. Is that right? I don't know. Longjaw.
Lockjaw.
Lockjaw. Yeah. There we go. Longjaw. No. But yeah, he's the big bad of the movie. He's the villain. He's the guy that's chasing Leo and his daughter all around. And he is fantastic. I think he'd get nominated for an Oscar.
I wouldn't go as far as an Oscar, but I do think that but that was because the role wasn't Oscar worthy.
Well,
I would say the acting was, he
like
did
a
great job. Supporting actor. Yeah. Best side character that nobody wants to see again. No.
Best evil, trashy guy. They did a really good job.
I would say, yeah, the character that Sean Penn played was definitely, this is the villain. He's a bad person. Everything that comes out of his mouth backs up the fact that he's a bad person. So the whole movie, you didn't even have to think anything of him. You saw him and you knew that something bad was going on, and it just made it easier to watch because you didn't have to psychoanalyze every action to figure out the motives of these people.
It's like two different movies in one. That's what we've been trying to say. It's like this action movie where everything's kind of like taken at face value. It's ambiguous, but it's also really, really good. And then you have like the political mother, all that stuff, and it's like they're in the same movie. There are different parts, and it's just weird. It doesn't merge together well, and it falls flat.
There was a lot of political innuendos in the second timeline of the movie. Like, we have two things going against each other, two kind of stories going on. And the more serious one was about political corruption in the United States and this group of government officials that are trying to racially purify not only their country, but the world. And they're talking about immigrants and people of minority groups. And part of the reason why this movie has gotten so many good reviews is because it's quote unquote relevant to what's going on right now, which I completely agree with. I just think that if they wanted to get that message across and really talk about the stuff that's going on in the world, they should have focused on that. And because it was also an action comedy movie, it made it seem like they were kind of overshadowing the real topics. And I think they could have just picked one or the other to deal with, you know?
Yeah, like the things that they were trying to say were good, but they just didn't say them well. All right, well, in the end, is it worth that $16 ticket?
I don't think this is a movie that you need to see, period. But I do think if you're going to see it, it is better to see it in theaters than at home. Because if it's disappointing in theaters, it's going to be extra disappointing on your couch.
But then again, if you're one who likes to, like, I guess, debate, see this movie and form your own opinions, because everyone on the internet is saying that it's great, but then everyone that I've seen that has seen it that I know does not like it. So it's like, well, this is like a 50-50 movie. It's like good for topic and debate and discussion. So maybe if you like that, then see it. But if you just want, okay, I just want to watch a good movie and then forget about it, well,
don't watch this movie. don't even see the movie, period. That's all for today, Huskies. Thank you for listening to episode 2 of On the Big Screen.
And we'll catch you on the next episode. Bye, Huskies!